And in the summer times, oftentimes you're going to see guys throw bigger baits. And the reason for that is a bass's metabolism is all controlled by the water temperature. As the water temperature rises, his metabolism starts to go faster. That means he's going to burn more calories in a day. He's going to need to eat bigger baits, bigger fish, bigger forage. He's going to need to eat all that so that he can survive. How do I use that as an angler? Well, when I go out there and I'm going to present a bait to those fish in the summertime, I like to present a big meal. When that fish eats something, he wants to get a lot of bang for his buck. So one of the first things that I really like to throw in the summertime is a big football head jig. This is a D&L tackle, 3/4 ounce football head jig. And this is a big, easy meal. It's going to represent two things, crawfish or brim, depending on the color that you do for that. So this one, it's kind of more brim color, got a little blue in the trailer, chartreuse, green pumpkin. And I can throw this anywhere bass may be eating brim, especially on some of those deeper holes with the heavy football head, but it's a big meal. Key for this is definitely rod and line. I like to throw this on a 7.3 medium heavy to a heavy. I prefer medium heavy, but the biggest thing with this jig is you want to have the right line size. Especially if those fish are deeper, a lot of times what will make those fish react is the quick fall of this bait. Line controls the quick fall of that bait, so I like to stay pretty low in my line size, 12 or 15 pound test. Most of the time it's 15 unless it's super clear. 15 pound Seaguar and Vizex. For me, that's just a super great line, but it's going to allow that bait, when you pull that bait up, it's not going to inhibit the bait at all when it falls straight to the bottom and you get a quick reaction bite. A bass thinks it's getting a big meal. The second way I'm going to give them a really big meal is a big spoon. It's one of my favorite ways to catch bass in the summertime. It's just a blast. Big piece of metal. This is actually, probably on the smaller end of the spectrum for what spoons you can throw. But when you're throwing a big piece of metal like this is obviously going to mimic a big gizzard shad, something a fish can eat, a big meal it can eat. You're going to need a good strong treble hook, but you're also going to need the right setup. For me, that's a heavy rod. I use basically what I would use for a flipping stick, I use for a big spoon. And then also you've got a lot of metal here that your line could get wrapped around. You don't want to worry about break-offs, and those fish are not going to have time to see that line. 20 pound in Vizex at a minimum is what I use for my spoons. Throw that out there. When a fish bites that, you're going to be able to really put the pressure on him and get him in the boat. Again, don't play those fish on a spoon. Hook them, wind them, get them in. Those fish are looking for those big baits. Now, the opposite end of the spectrum, in summertime, people love to fish, lakes get a lot of pressure. So if those big forage baits don't work, your big spoons, your big crankbaits, big jigs, all those things that we love to throw, if they don't work, I go to the opposite end of the spectrum and I finesse them. These are my two main ways that I approach summer, big or finesse. And for finesse, there's nothing better than a drop shot for me. Really simple setup. You got your hook above the weight. That's going to allow you to put this in a lot of different situations, but you can keep that bait up in front of those fish for long periods of time, maybe if they're not in a really good mood. Throwing this on a medium to medium light rod, spinning rod especially is the key for this. Line setup, pretty simple, but I'm always braid on my spinning reels. I like Seaguar Smackdown Flash Green, 15 pound test for me. I can see that line, and then I'm not worried about the fish seeing that. Why? Because I'm tying a leader. I'm going to tie a gold label leader. Most of the time it's 8 pound test for me. If I was a little heavier cover, brush piles or something, I might go to 10. But invisible leader for the fish, the Smackdown provides the strength. If those fish won't eat those big baits, go finesse on them, and you're going to catch more fish in the summer.